Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and this is gonna be an open discussion topic. And I know I'm probably gonna get some hate from it, but I don't care. It's been something that I've been thinking about for a long time. And I was watching a video by Jester Bell about Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy's toxic relationship, and it kind of reminded me of Xena the Warrior Princess. Yes, 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 I have to attack one of my favorite shows of all time, and I hate to be that guy because I know a lot of people are going to be like, but this, but that, but I'm just going to look at it from when I was growing up watching the show until now. It and I see what they have done with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy is kind of like pseudo of what they did with Xena the Warrior Princess. So, of course, you guys know that Xena the Warrior Princess was a spinoff of Hercules, the Legendary Journeys. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys watch Hercules, the Legendary Journeys, you already know that Lucy Lawless started as the brilliant Xena. And she had her companion Gabriella of the Bard, um, and they went around the ancient Greece world, um, for her redemption, right? And over time, how they both changed and grow, and how they influence each other one after another, and that's cool, right? You would right? Okay, cool, great. So, if you guys know anything about Xena the Warrior Princess, you know that made Xena the Warrior Princess an LGBT icon, and there's nothing wrong with a character being an LGBT icon except for when you find out that it's being done by male feminists, and I don't trust male feminists. I don't trust a male feminist person. I don't trust a male who is a straight up, oh, I'm a feminist and stuff like that, because those are the ones you gotta watch. And the reason why I say that is because growing up, I I started to notice the dip in quality for Xena the Warrior Princess. And don't get me wrong, she still a great show. Love Xena to this day. I'm a faithful person. I'm a faithful watcher of Xena the Warrior Princess. If it came on TV right now, I'm dropping everything to watch Xena the Warrior Princess. And I have. So it ain't. I'm not just saying this shit just because I'm a guy. I'm saying it because I'm loyal. And on top of that, no offense, um, the LGBT community, we need to talk a little bit about that. Um, when you're a guy, and this is the fellas, this is for the fellas, not the girls. If you're a guy and you see a woman that's being a badass and kicking names and fighting the bad guys, how the hell does that make? How the hell does that unlock your queerness? No offense, like this powerful woman who can fight with the boys, fight with the boys, and then what? You realize that, damn, I'm into dick. How the fuck that work? Like that to me, that doesn't make any sense because to me, I'm like, damn, I wish I was good like her, or I wish I had a woman like her. You get what I'm saying? If anything, she made me fall in love with badass women. She didn't make me want to be like, man, I need to stick with dicks. Like you get what I'm saying? Because it's weird. It is weird that as a guy, you see a woman, being a badass, doing badass things, doing backflips, fighting guys twice her size, even, and she's even trained, and she's like one of the greatest warriors of all time, right? And that makes you be like, yep, that's when I knew I was into damn men. What? What? I can see if you said that for Hercules, but for Xena, that one mind blows me every time I hear a gay man talk about, oh, one of my awakenings was Xena the Warrior Princess. Oh, what? And this isn't me this isn't me bashing. This is just me, like, as somebody who don't understand. It's just going from what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. It's just like I hmm, I don't get it. I would think that you will want to be turned on more from Hercules because there was a lot of times where Hercules and Aeolus were shirtless. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, bro. So that's why I'm kind of confused with that one. And it'll be the vice versa for women who watch Hercules, the Legendary Journeys, and then they were like, "That's when I knew I was into pussy." Like, how the fuck that work? You're a damn woman looking at men shirtless, and you're like, "Yep, pussy looking good right now." What? What? So, again, just it's just me, just like baffled a little bit by it. But I'm just kind of saying it because I don't. And I've tried to see it. I've tried to see it because and and there are times where you can kind of see stuff, but I just can't. And only because I watched Hercules, the Legendary Journeys as well, and the stuff that y'all were putting on Xena and Gabrielle, nobody put it on Hercules, and Hercules and Aeolus known each other longer than Xena and Gabrielle. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm kind of confused on like where this whole notion of okay, so you got two women who are into men, and I know some people are gonna be like bisexuality and in the Greece world. I get it. I get it, but I'm looking at it from a viewer point that I feel like that the same thing with the Harley Quinn thing is that you let a certain fan base get influence you because once you start letting a fan base, which I believe is the predecessor of shipping. When people start shipping Xena and Gabrielle together, and I'm talking about the people who were like watching it back in the day and were like, yeah, or whatever, and I feel like they influenced the writers to go on with that, and I don't think that was a good thing to do. Oh shit! As a person who was watching the show, I don't think you should have let that influence you or slowly try to creep it in because why can't she be a badass woman who happens to like men? And I don't understand why we have a lot of shows that feature badass women, right? And let's say they're inspired by long ago shows or whatever. Their modern interpretation, all of a sudden, they're into women. What? So she's a badass woman who fights people, and then she got to be into women too. What? That don't make sense. And I feel like that was the downfall for Xena the Warrior Princess when they start slowly eroding the lesbianism and Xena all of a sudden don't like men, Gabrielle ain't really into men anymore all of a sudden, and it was just kind of like this is getting kind of a turn off because it's becoming hyper feminist. You get what I'm saying? Hyper feminist. Like when Xena got pregnant and because Lucy Lawless got pregnant in real life, and they had to write it in there. Okay, she's had multiple men this whole time, and she's actually fucked multiple men on the show. Why the fuck she can't get pregnant by a man? And I don't really want to hear that. Oh, they were trying to go off of the Mary and say that shit for Mary in the Bible and stuff like that. Xena should have been got pregnant by a male character on the show. Even if it wasn't somebody from her cast, it should have been somebody from Hercules. And honestly, it would have made logical sense for Hercules and Xena to have a baby, and their baby be the reason the downfall of the gods for the storyline. That's just me talking because realistically, that's what would have been written, not some she's having a baby without a guy or whatever and stuff like that because hyperfeminist blah 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 blah. Women don't need no man kind of thing. Man, Hercules would have made a little bit more sense because it would have gave divinity to Eve that her powers is her ability to give Xena the ability to kill gods, and as long as she's alive, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it gives her incredible strength and feats to be able to do certain things because the time skip happened and then she became Livia, bitch of Rome or whatever, and she became like a badasser version of her mom. And I'm like, okay, but Xena still looks more intimidating than Liv does. So at least if she was half god, it would make sense for the reason why she had these abilities or feats and strength or whatever. I'm just talking about it from a storytelling perspective and somebody who likes the character. I don't like the anti men bashing stuff that I was starting to see a roach, or then they were like, "Oh, Gabriella and Xena are soulmates or whatever." Okay, great, but whatever happened to just having platonic stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that y'all in the '90s, we were so okay with men having close friendships that look like relationships that when a woman do it, y'all straight up was like they're in a relationship because Hercules and Aeolus were very close, very close. I mean, Hercules ripped through the heavens for Aeolus' ass. You know what I'm saying? Hell, he even had a even when Aeolus died and Hercules finally like let his best friend go, right? They brought in another version of him from an alternate universe, so Hercules can have his best friend back. You know what I'm saying? And then that version of his best friend left him for a mermaid. So, but I didn't see nobody who was like, oh my god, Hercules and Aeolus because they're so close or whatever and stuff like that. They're into men. No, it just to me it don't make sense, and I feel like that is a downfall for the character because even then when I'm reading the comic books, like they got brand new comic books of Xena every once in a while. They emphasize the fact that Xena and Gabrielle are into each other all of a sudden. No, 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 especially Gabrielle can't really be into women because her lineage needs to continue because there are ancestry that are connected to Gabrielle specifically. I know people are like, oh, her sister and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. We get that. We get that. But it's time for us to really be truthful about it. And I feel like she was on a pedestal, and I feel like when the guys starting to like her too much, that's when they start slowly getting more involved into like her LGBT stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's not really. She all of a sudden Xena has disdain for men. Her and Gabrielle all of a sudden don't really care for men and all that kind of stuff or whatever. Even though the first couple of seasons they were into dicks. You get what I'm saying? So I don't like that switch up, and I understand somebody's going to be like, oh, bisexuality and all that kind of stuff, and I get it, but at the same time, I also get the close bond of friends that there are a lot of same sex people who have close bonds with their same sex friends that it doesn't mean something sexual, and like I said, I feel like it kind of destroyed the character because if Xena is into women, right, as a straight man and men, why would they be interested in her? You get what I'm saying? She's no longer interesting to watch. It's the same thing as if you made Hercules gay. He's not interesting to watch. You get what I'm saying? They're part of an archetype that you have this badass man and you have this badass woman. They kick a lot of butts, they kick asses, and then they get the girl or the guy at the end of the day. And that's what should be happening. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you have made Xena a fucking whore. And when I mean whore, I mean like, she occasionally sleeps with a man every once in a while. Her and Gabrielle occasionally, get down and dirty with men. It is okay. You know what I'm saying? They can still travel. She can still have her road to redemption or whatever. But especially all that chemistry she had with Ares, and you mean tell me she gave that up for Gabrielle? not in Hell's Life, not in Hell's Life when she was still screwing that motherfucker on the side too. Come on now. Come on, somebody. But see, y'all ain't ready for that conversation because now she's this LGBT icon. And again, she can still be that. She can still be that for women and stuff like that. But I just feel like the show got messed up when they start slowly increasing that in there and making that part of her character and then trying to slowly retroactively be like, well, now she is into just women only or whatever. Because a lot of y'all, when y'all be saying, oh, bisexuality or whatever, it goes both ways. Nine times out of 10, when the character is quote unquote bisexual, they stay with the same sex permanently. And it's just not, it at this point, it starts becoming not realistic. And I know some of them are like, oh, maybe I might be taking modern sensibilities into it. But no, I've always thought that when I was little that things were starting to be a little bit more strange. You know what I mean? And again, this is coming from somebody who loves Xena the Warrior Princess. I love Xena so much. I had the action figures. I went to the Universal openings. Well, you know when Lucy Lawless and Kevin Sarboard they went to Universal Studios. We went to Universal Studios during the time we went to the little Hercules Xena ride or whatever. I wish I had memories of it, but my mom took me there. We had pictures of me going there or whatever. I had Hercules and Xena action figures, and I'm talking about those bulky ones or whatever. I had the Hercules and Xena, the little soundtrack and the VHS for Battle of Olympus. I finally was able to buy Xena the Warrior Princess, Hercules collection on VHS. The same thing. I bought a few episodes on Xena, and then I got the complete collection of Xena as well. So I love Xena the Warrior Princess, and I even recently got a few action figures of Xena the Warrior Princess that I didn't even realize existed, and I got a few Xena the Warrior Princess comic books. I do love Xena, and this is not me just saying this shit just be saying it. I'm very passionate about the character, and there's a lot of things in the show that I really wish they didn't do because I feel like that kind of turned the audience off. Because I know that, when she first came out, a lot of guys were watching it. And then, like halfway through, when they started kind of teasing a little bit more of her and Gabrielle and her rejecting men, I think that started slowly declining. You know what I mean? So I feel like once you start adding that into it, it can make the show wrong. And I feel like that's even though Xena and Gabrielle are a good friendship pairing, is a good friendship pairing. I don't think they're a good lover pairing, and I feel like it is toxic, and not in like a bad toxicity, but you know how sometimes you just know that two characters, even though they get along or whatever, there's really no issue, but them being a couple is toxic. And I feel like them being a couple is toxicity to the characters themselves, not the community or fandom that built that love around them. It is just it damages the characters to me, in my personal opinion. I'm just kind of just saying this stuff because I just kind of want to have this discussion. I don't want nobody to think that I'm hating on Xena the Warrior Princess. I love Xena the Warrior Princess. But I'm just saying that somebody who watched it, I just started noticing things that just was like, I can see why. And then when you start going back when you're older, you can kind of start seeing it consciously, and you're like, oh, I see why it was starting to turn people off. You get what I mean? So that's just my personal opinion. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.